Hi, my name is McKenna Connor. I am from Roswell, Georgia, and I go to Blessed Trinity Catholic High School. I am super interested in the Micah Fellows program because of all the amazing work they do around the city of Birmingham and the core values of the Micah Fellows program. Growing up, my family always instilled in me the importance of service towards others and the golden rule of do unto others as you would have others do unto you. I've always loved helping others and going above and beyond my service responsibilities, not only at my school, but also the responsibilities of my National Honor Society chapter. I was born in Birmingham at St. Vincent's, and I hope to become a nurse at that same hospital. One of the philosophers that Dr. King mentions is Socrates. He says that Socrates finds tension to be a good thing. In fact, he says that it's necessary for growth. Why is King bringing up the idea of tension? How do Socrates' ideas apply to the civil rights movement or any other movement in which there is change? Socrates' ideas inspired Dr. King to bring up the concept of tension because Socrates believes that with good tension, there is room for conversation and improvement, which is exactly where Dr. King wants America to turn to in times of social injustice. Dr. King states this about Socrates' ideas. Socrates felt that it was necessary to create tension in the mind so that individuals could rise from the bondage of myths and half-truths to the unfretted realm of creative analysis and objective appraisal, meaning that there must be tension within us to realize the fallacies of the world and work towards what is right and just for all. Socrates' ideas can be applied to the civil rights movement, the pro-life movement, the gender equality movement, or any other social injustice today, because he is challenging us to create an internal tension that makes us confront the problems before us. As a whole society, we must decide what is truly right or wrong and work towards bringing peace and balance to our nation. Dr. King and Socrates both agree that change is inspired from within, but brought about by our actions. On page 290, King talks about nonviolence and the steps of nonviolence. Why do you think he's telling the readers about these steps? Why would they be important? The first step to a nonviolent campaign is to collect all the facts to prove that there are injustices alive in our society. There must be concrete evidence to show that there are injustices alive in Birmingham in order to start a campaign against these said injustices. Later on, Dr. King lists the violent acts in Birmingham and around the nation, stating that it's an ugly record of police brutality is known in every section of this country. So, it is a proven fact that there is racial violence all across the country. The second step to a nonviolent campaign is negotiation. Dr. King talks about negotiation frequently throughout the passage. He says that Negro leaders sought to negotiate with city fathers, but the political leaders consistently refused to engage in good faith negotiations. By refusing to meet and discuss important social issues, the leaders of the city chose to ignore a peaceful solution. The third step is self-purification. Self-purification means to cleanse yourself of false realities or temptations and anything else that binds you from the light of truth. Many things can cause us to have twisted or construed beliefs, but recognizing that our individual beliefs come from within us and not from other sources is a crucial step in the nonviolent campaign. The last step is direct action. After clearing our minds of outside influence, we can truly recognize our core beliefs and act correctly on them. If our mind is not in its purest form, then our actions can become irrational. Dr. King calls the people of Birmingham to make thoughtful, reasonable actions in order to effectively fight against injustice. These simple steps in a nonviolent campaign show the foundation of Dr. King's movement and the call for social justice. Without fully understanding these crucial steps, the readers may act upon their emotions in unsound ways or misinterpret the meaning of all of Dr. King's actions. In addition to talking about white moderates, Dr. King also changes the connotation of extremism. How does he do that? Why is that important? Dr. King changes the connotation of extremism by describing how the word is becoming associated with non-radical actions. Many African Americans struggle with expressing their frustrations about the apparent social injustice in the proper ways. King describes a couple of nonviolent actions by saying, "So let him march sometime. Let him have his prayer pilgrimage to the city hall. Understand why he must have sit-ins and freedom rides." These nonviolent actions are just some of the limited things African Americans can do to express their frustrations and anger with those who oppress them. However, these actions are being construed into brutal acts against the city and society. King states, "Now this approach is being dismissed as extremist. I must admit that I was initially disappointed in being so categorized." He is disgruntled with society for being so divided in opinions that they begin to categorize anything as radical. King transforms the word extremism from a word of power and fear into the word of little meaning, all because the actions the word is describing. This change in connotation of the word shows how society as a whole has the power to change not only the meaning of a word, but also its effect on people.